Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Xanda. I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually was a massive fan of Transformers for a pretty long time, from about the start of Robots in Disguise up until maybe 2015 or 2016. With the more recent Transformers releases, especially Transformers Legacy, I have been just stuck on collecting Transformers again, trying to go back and get some stuff that I missed from like Seige and the War for Cybertron trilogy, getting things that have come out recently in the Legacy line, and even now being excited on what's coming next. I don't think this is going to be something that's going to stop anytime soon, which is a shame for my wallet, but it's a fun time to be alive. I haven't been this excited for Transformers in forever, so to be excited for Transformers again, like, it makes me happy. What I wanted to do is I wanted to make a video talking about some Transformers that I would like to see them redo, because the biggest thing about Transformers Legacy, if you weren't aware, is that they are now remaking a lot of older designs in a more modern way, with modern engineering, better articulation, and just like somewhat of a different spin on these classic designs. And they have re-released a lot of my favorite versions of certain characters. For example, Armada Starscream, which is a figure I never owned as a kid but always wanted, or even Armada Hotshot, which I did have as a kid. Is one of my first Transformers that I ever had. So I just wanted to make a list of just other Transformers that I did either own or wanted to own, that I want to see get a new fresh coat of paint, a new revamp, either for Legacy or down the line, since I don't think they're going to stop this idea of remaking older figures, even when they kind of move on from Legacy. For the first one on this list, it's not really a surprise at all. If you're currently like a fan of Transformers or aware of the most recent releases, Armada Optimus Prime is the canon event for me. That was what got me back into Transformers and like stuck. It is, in my opinion, for sure, even just from looks alone, one of the nicest Transformers that they have come out with in the last, like, 6 years. I'm not saying that the last 6 years was that rough. There are others that compare to it, but in my opinion, just like how solid the figure feels, how nice it transforms, how good it looks, and how accurate it is to the animation, it's just like amazing. With that being said, Armada Optimus could do a couple things. I'm pretty sure if you've ever seen the show, he can connect with 2 different Transformers. But for this list, I'm only going to list one of them, and that is animated Jetfire. I always wanted this figure as a kid. I don't know what it is about animated Jetfire. There's just something about that design that I love. I love his transformation. I love the shuttle mode. I love his robot mode. There's something about the head shape and everything, the white. It just looks really nice. I always thought it was a really cool design, and the fact that he can connect and combine with Optimus was also super dope. And the fact that it did a good job of doing all 3 of those things, even as far back as like, what, 2002, I think is when Armada came out. It's just so cool. So I would love to see that remade and obviously have compatibility with Legacy Armada Optimus. A lot of people have been asking for this. It's a pretty obvious choice, which is why I'm putting it so low on the list, because I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. Next one on the list, I really want to see Cybertron Hotshot or Excellion. So a lot of the leaks that have come out, again, if you're unaware, the leak culture is just in everything now. And so a lot of the later releases that are coming out in this year, one of them that got leaked was that we're getting some kind of Cybertron Hotshot. Now, most people are convinced it's going to be the more armored version from later in the show, which is a cool design, and I would love to see that redone. Always wanted it as a kid, so to get a revamp of it, like a proper revamp, I'm very excited for. However, I do like his other design where he's like a really sleek futuristic car with the wings that come out when he's in car mode with the Cyber Planet key. I would love to see that done with better articulation, with really that's the biggest thing. I just want to see it done and with modern articulation, making it Excellion first and selling it as that, and then later repainting it slash almost retooling it slightly too, because it would have a different head for Hotshot. I think it would be pretty cool. That's another one I'd really like to see. I don't know, again, I don't know what it is with that design, but I really like it. And if we at least got Excellion and not even Hotshot, I wouldn't even be mad. I haven't seen many people ask for this. I think it's because the current landscape of Transformers, the way that it works, the way the current size classing works, and their budget and etc., kind of an awkward thing to ask for, because where would this fit? How much would it cost? But we're not really worrying about that. We're just worrying about what would look cool and what I want to see, and that's Diatlas. Diatlas is a character from the Japanese side of things. Look him up. He's a really cool, I mean, I should be showing pictures of him doing this properly. It's a really cool design. It's, I believe, 2 different vehicles that combine into one Transformer. We don't really get that often. I know we're getting Tidal Wave, which is really dope, but we just don't really get that often, so I think one, that'd be cool. Two, they did already technically make this. There was a Generation Selects release that came out a few years ago now, and it's a pretty heavy retool of an existing figure, but that was from like back in like Titans Returns, which a lot of those figures are very hit or miss. A lot of the engineering on those figures are also hit or miss, so I feel like if we were to get a newer version of that with like the current legacy engineering, I think that'd be really cool. It's a really dope design. I think it would sell well. I just don't know how you would sell that, because like I guess Commander would be the best, but Commanders are very expensive and they don't make those very often, and they already kind of planned those out way ahead of time, and we already know this year's Commander and even next year's Commander, so I don't really know where it fit. Maybe a later class could do it, probably not though. Either way, it's a design I'd like to see them do again. There's other things I could have put in this slot as far as like things we've already kind of received, but not a proper update. But I felt like Diatlas is a little higher on my list than the others, just because I feel like that era of Transformers does not really get its due as much, and they already did that with the previous HasLab, so for them to kind of keep that up, but put it in retail, I think would be really cool. This is a figure that a lot of people are shocked that we haven't seen them in as long as we have seen them, but also it's a figure that I have in my collection personally, and I really like, and it's a very expensive figure now, because for some reason or another, Hasbro has not made a figure of this character in forever, and that's Drift. Drift is a super dope figure. Like, even back when it came out, I think it still holds up fairly well. The articulation in the legs, I think, would obviously get a bigger improvement if they made it nowadays, but the articulation in the arms, I remember them boasting that it could hold its sword with two hands, and that was a pretty big deal back in like 2012 or whenever it came out. For some reason, ever since I think the movie versions, we haven't seen a single version of Drift in like forever. I think we did get I think it was a repaint, but it was from like Cyberverse, so like those figures weren't like super top quality. They were for younger kids, so it's not the best, you know? I want a proper Drift. I want like IDW, like a new version of IDW Drift. It's crazy to me they haven't done this yet. Samurai type characters are still a very popular thing, especially here. I don't know. I don't know what they're waiting for. I don't know why they haven't done it yet. Give us a new IDW Drift. Hurry up. Like, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Okay, this last one, again, this is my list, so it's like totally based on what my wants and needs are. Number one for me was a pretty controversial figure when it first came out, but I would absolutely love to see an update on, and that is animated Jetfire and Jetstorm / Safeguard, which is when they're combined. I would love this so much. These figures were some of my favorites growing up from the animated line. I love Jetfire, just first of all, I think he's really cool. The newer version of him in animated was interesting. I love the newer kind of take that they gave to him, but those figures are obviously like, they have their issues. There's no proper hands for both modes. There's no real accessories for either of them. Transformations, I think, are pretty good. I like the fact that both jets can combine, even though it looks like two jets sandwiched together. It's still a cool mode, in my opinion. I still think it looks kind of cool. And then, obviously, Safeguard is just a really dope idea. And honestly, I'm surprised that they haven't gone back to that idea, period. Like, we still haven't seen any Transformer that can combine half and half like that. We brought back combiners. We've brought back a lot of different gimmicks from before. That's like one thing that they've never brought back. I would really like to see them do a proper, again, legacy version of those designs, bring them into the kind of more Generations aesthetic, still give them the ability to combine, and maybe give them an accessory or two, just so there's more to do with them. But that's something I've always wanted to see. And I feel like people that didn't even like that figure would pick up the new version just because of the fact that they can combine alone. It's such an interesting combination. If you are into Transformers, let me know in the comments what you guys thought of my list. Let me know what you guys want to see if you guys do collect Transformers, or even if you don't collect Transformers, what's a Transformer you would like to see get remade from your childhood? Because that's kind of what they've been doing lately. If you liked it, subscribe for more. We'll be talking about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. But yeah, I'll see you when I see you. Thanks for my patrons. Peace.